subscribe and hit the bell icon and never miss another video. So happy to have a very special guest on the Girl Tribe today, Alaya. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
me. And
me.
You look super adorable.
So do you.
I saw the movie Jawaani Jaaneman and I absolutely loved it. You absolutely slayed it.
Thank you.
And this is the first big production you've done. What was this experience like?
I love conventional things and I love unconventional things, but I feel like this was the best way for me to enter this industry.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the film also really captured me quite well. My character Tia is very similar to who I am.
It felt like that.
Nitin sir, the first time he met me, he said, you know, you are the character, just be yourself. Yes. Sounds much easier than it is, because then you start wondering, like, what am I like?
Did you always know you're going to get into movies? Were you prepping for it?
I wanted to be a director. I actually went to study direction as well. I had gone to NYU for their filmmaking program. Within that course is where I started realizing that I loved acting. For me personally, being in front of the camera felt far more rewarding than being behind the camera.
So you're working with Saif Ali Khan. Tabu. I thought Tabu was so hilarious. Her comic timing is epic. But there were parts where Saif Ali Khan had to be OTT, right?
Yeah.
He had to do... And I thought it was really interesting that you didn't go down that path. And you were kind of chill. That was all by design?
I watch a lot of my contemporaries' interviews and all their movies, and there's so much to learn because it's very tricky because sometimes you completely underact because you're scared of doing too much. And sometimes you do too much because you want to be seen and you want people to remember you, and that also backfires. I was like, either I'm going to get comments saying expressions hi nahi hai, or I'm going to get comments saying overacting ki dukaan. And these are the two most common ones, right? So I decided that I wasn't going to make it my problem at all. I just went to Nitin sir and I said, Nitin sir, you just direct me the way you want to. We all were such equals on that set, or at least they treated me such.
You're born in a generation where you immediately get a response, whether Instagram or social media. And what has that feeling been like? And were you prepared for whether it's going to be lukewarm or great, or what was your plan?
While I was on set, I was getting good feedback, from whether it was even the spot dadas or the light dadas, or whether it was from Nitin sir and Saif sir. So I knew I wasn't doing a terrible job, because Saif sir is also a very blunt man. If I was doing a terrible job, I would know. People were saying very wonderful things. That's scary because you don't want to raise your expectations,
right?
And then on a Friday have everything crashing down. They're saying this, but that's because they've worked with me for so many days and they think I'm sweet and they don't know. And I was so surprised and so relieved and overwhelmed when I got the response I did.
Were you at all worried that people might be like, she's gone too far in her first movie?
Jayu sir, my producer, in fact, he looked at me before I signed it. He was like, you do know you're making a very bold choice, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess, but it doesn't bother me. Something about it just seemed very honest and true to me.
And was it hard to play like a pregnant girl? Was it tough?
So actually that bump that I was wearing wasn't like a light one. It was a heavy bump.
Really?
Yeah, and firstly putting it on because it was like a whole mold. 5 people had to squeeze me into it and pull it up every single day. Oh, and then sometimes on really hot days, it would get super sweaty on the inside and I'd feel droplets falling down. And then if I would breathe extra hard, it would make this horrible fart sound. And I would be like, I swear it's my bump, So whenever I felt it getting extra wet, I would just let everyone know. That I'm not farting.
A lot of girls from the Girl Tribe are watching, and I think, everyone has varying experiences and they're probably scared, and a lot of, teenage pregnancy does happen.
Yeah.
What would you do, or how would you deal with this situation if this actually happened to you in real life?
First of all, use protection.
Yes.
And I think I would give myself time to think about it. But although I do think right now I'm in a place where, I want to focus on my work and I want to, make something of myself so I can give a wonderful life to someone else. And I don't think I would rush into that because I feel like there's I don't know. I'd like to believe all these things, but you never know when it happens to you. It's a tricky one.
I think maybe I'd love for you to tell maybe the moms in the generation who are raising daughters who are your age. From your perspective, what is something that you wish they knew?
So, even if you stop your child from doing something, chances are they'll do it anyway. But you'd rather that when they do it, and if it does happen to be a mistake and they do make that mistake, you'd rather that they're able to come and talk to you without fear. I was quite a rebellious child. I won't lie, I was a very rebellious child. But I feel like I did most of what people do between their 20s and 30s, I think I did from my 15 to 20. And now it's all out of my system. But at no point did I feel like I couldn't go to my mother and talk to her about something.
But what is your relationship with her like?
I have a very open relationship with both my parents. There was one age where I looked at both of them, I was like, listen, you guys, ask me anything you want whenever you want. We'll be prepared for either answer.
Right.
And that's been my equation with them throughout. And we argue a lot, me and my mother, a lot. But I love that because it helped me develop my own personality, find out what my own views were. So the way we talk is very similar. What we talk is very different.
What was their reaction and how were they, were they like giving you feedback every step of the way, or they were like, just do your best?
I'm so hard on myself, and I put so much pressure on myself. Remember in school, if I would ever, not do well in a test or something, and I'd come back and I'd be like, didn't do this, she would always console me as compared to tell me something else, because she knew that I was feeling far worse about it.
It's also epic strategy, by the way.
Yeah. I remember there was once where I had come home super late. I wasn't supposed to come home at that time. It was probably like 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. My curfew at that time was like 2 a.m.
That's a great curfew, by the way.
I remember walking into the house and my mother was just sitting on the stairs. And I walked in and I was like, I was ready for it, like scream at me, and she goes, I just want you to think about what you've done today. She went down. I grounded myself for 2 weeks. I was like, oh, this is horrible. I feel horrible. And I was like, I wish you just screamed at me so I could have screamed back and then gone into my room.
Well, moms, now you know exactly how to handle the situation. But I'm sure a lot of media is starting this comparison.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, who do you get along and all of that. And I would love for you to share your thoughts on this.
I love competition, healthy competition. I think it's great that, we all have something to strive to be. I love that, you learn from each other's mistakes. I love that, I feel so motivated when I see them doing well. I think this negative comparison and this bitterness and bitchiness that people like to believe, that really isn't. Sometimes I'm like, oh damn, I wish I had gotten that one. But also I realize that, this person's done more work than I have. They've been in the industry longer than I have. They have certain things that I don't. I guess when you think about it rationally and logically, it all makes a lot more sense and it calms you down. Like recently there was a photo somewhere where they had compared Sarah and my gym looks or something, and they were like, whose look did you like better?
I hate
and I
that,
went down and I commented Sarah for sure. I was like, I take it with a pinch of salt. I love it.
That's so
and
cool.
People loved it.
Who would you have like a mega fan moment over?
Right now I'm having fan moments every day. I'm seeing so many people. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, you're incredible. You're
Yeah.
crazy. You're so good. I think I already had a very big fan moment with Hrithik Roshan, where I couldn't open my mouth and say a single word.
He also has these really like mesmerizing eyes.
Yes,
very
mesmerizing everything.
Yeah. So the Girl Tribe actually sent him some questions for you, which is really fun. So I'm going to ask a few of them. Vidisha says, if you were not an actor, what would you be if you weren't in the film industry at all?
I would have done a business degree and seen where that takes.
Merlin wants to know, what is a social cause that's really close to your heart that you would love to support?
Anything women, children, or LGBT related.
Sanya says, growing up as a kid in the Bollywood fraternity, who has been your inspiration?
Honestly, I found great inspiration, great mentorship in my teachers. And for the 2 years that I was back here in Bombay, before I started auditioning and meetings, I met the most incredible people that put in hours and hours and hours of their day, dedicated them to me and like transformed me. It was Ritesh Kant, Dimple Kotecha and Utkar Chaturvedi.
Who's your Bollywood BFF?
Bollywood BFF?
That's from Urvi.
I want Taimur to be my Bollywood BFF because on set he was terrified of me.
Really?
Yeah. I was constantly looking for his love and approval and he never gave it to me.
Because he's like already a superstar. So like I think he's like, what else?
He was scared of the baby bump. I'd be like, that shit is not scary. He'd be like...
Well, so your journey has been amazing. Thank you so much for spending time with us in the
Thank
Girl
you for
Tribe.
having me.
And I'd love for you to do like a message for the girls watching. They're girls of all ages, and you're very inspirational at a young age. Some advice you'd like to give them?
You don't need anyone but yourself to believe in you. Work very hard every day at what you want to do, whatever that may be. It can be anything. And don't take social media too seriously. It's all temporary.
Absolutely. There you heard it. But of course, the Girl Tribe is always there for you. Thank you so much, and we wish you so much love and luck.
Thank you so much.